All right, I think we're doing it. All right, so today is pretty relaxed and informal. I'm all about like grabbing your water, grabbing your tea, whatever. Let's just chat and have some conversations because that's what this is about, right? So, let's settle for a minute to our bodies. Welcome to the Iconic Life podcast. This is where, like I said, we gather pretty informally around a virtual table, pull up our chairs, and we get into deep, soulful conversations about what it means to live and create lives of calling, of wealth, of joy, of purpose, what lights us up, right? I'm your host, Hannah Elsey. I am the founder of Agora Wellness. I'm a transformation midwife. I'm a movement builder of a community of visionary men and women who are choosing to lead and live lives they are wildly in love with. So here we do depth, we do truth, we do stories that remind us that we are limitless when we are walking in our divine purpose and calling and our identity. So let's dive in. Today, I am so excited to highlight my friend Becca. She's a new friend that I met, I guess what, a month ago, Becca? Is that where we
Yeah,
met, right? Yeah.
yeah.
We met at a totally crazy cool business conference, one of our masterminds that we're in Denver. And then we actually found out that small world, share, like you actually were raised like really close to where I live now, but you don't live here now, but we is like in the same small town area on the east side of the country. Yeah.
Yeah,
So crazy, right? Like,
that
oh,
was
like
so crazy.
not a lot of people know exactly where these little spots are, and you knew it because you had grown up here. So that was kind of synchronicity. Okay. All right, girly. So today, I just want to dive a little bit more into you. And I don't have a formal introduction for you, so I'm going to give you the stage here. And I want you to just introduce yourself and kind of what you do in the world and what your work is and your zone of your magic that you do. So go ahead.
Cool. Sure. Hi, everyone. Hi, Hannah. I'm Becca, Wild Woman Becca on Instagram, the Risky Bitch in my Facebook group. So I'm a risk mentor and I help people to like expand their ability to take more risks. A lot of times when we talk about risk, it's talking about it in terms of like, how do we be safer? How do we take less risks? How do I mitigate risks? I do the opposite. How do we sit in the discomfort of what risk feels like, specifically like processed through our body,
Mhm.
and through our brains, like ways of talking to us, so through the subconscious and the conscious, um and I help you take more risks so that you can live a bolder life, live a more iconic life, live a
Yes.
wilder life. And I do a lot of that through it's mostly virtual work that I do with people, but I also have lots of notes of like adventure and outdoorsy stuff. I'm a whitewater kayak instructor and a rock
Yeah.
climber. I host meetups for rock climbing once a month. And so, yeah,
Okay.
lots
Yeah.
of those things too.
Awesome. Yeah. So you kind of took that whole safety thing and turned it on its head about risk, right? Because I feel
Yeah.
like our society really steeps itself a lot in like, oh, be safe, be safe. And I definitely kind of rejected that years ago, even in my life, but in my parenthood as well, because I was like, I think we actually need to learn how to take risks and do it safely, right?
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you're kind of taking that and expanding it to work with just adults, because none of us are, unfortunately, I think in today we're not always taught that as children because a lot of us have kind of grown up in that zone of be safe, right?
Hmm.
Not that safety is a bad thing, but I think not the ability to not be able to take a risk is not a great thing. So I kind of
Yeah.
love that that is what you're doing. You're kind of turning that upside down and helping us learn how to do it. So you mentioned like body work as well, because and that's pretty important. You're talking about like somatic kind of things to like hold that capacity in your nervous system. Like give it a little bit more about that.
Yeah, yeah. So I found like the subconscious speaks in feelings and emotions and like through body sensations. Like risk for me feels like my heart is racing and like maybe I feel like a flushed sensation in my face. My face turns bright red, or like
Yeah. Yeah.
embarrassment is a form of risk.
Yeah.
Um, and so I help people to like identify those things and then like move them through the body. So we like sometimes we might talk about the things that are going on in your head and like the things that your head is saying, but a lot of times when you're really, really feeling it, you don't actually know what it's saying, or like you
Right.
think you know what you're saying, what it's
Right.
saying, but then you can't verbalize it. So it's
Right.
like we when you can verbalize it, then we talk about what it's saying and then how that shows up in your body, and then vice versa. When you don't know how to verbalize it and it's all body sensations, then we work through it from the body sensations, bring it into the conscious through the tangible words, and then release it or like do whatever we need to with it.
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
getting comfortable in the discomfort. I think you mentioned that earlier, and that again is kind of again flipping on its head, but there's so powerful because I think so many times we want to run away from the things that don't feel comfortable or good all the time. And that's not, again, not always a great thing, right? In my job, I'm also a midwife, which I think we talked about that a little bit. I think I mentioned that to you before. And that's a lot of what I do is helping women who are laboring not be
Mm.
afraid of it, right? Because in every other
Hmm.
aspect of our life, pain, we associate with bad things. You're like, oh my gosh, get away from it, pull away, right? And you don't want to sit in that discomfort. But in order, labor is quite intense. Um,
Yeah. And risky.
and risky, right? And so like to be able to find that being okay in that discomfort and allowing that expansion and that progress to move, that's how you get to have a successful labor and birth, right? And it's so like it's something I've done for so long, but I didn't ever think about it that like that until just recently. I was like, oh, it's sitting in that discomfort, like kind of like working with like this is like flip that thought process in every other
Mm.
aspect of your life. Pain for you generally is not a good thing, but in this space, it's a good thing. And like, but it's so cool when you see the mom like, oh, like she gets it, right? It's
Mm.
like, okay. And then we have this like beautiful progression and you have this amazing outcome, right? So
Mm.
it's that's pretty powerful, like life analogy. But I love that you're kind of doing that in a way. You're midwifing people through risk in all sorts of
Mm.
aspects. That's amazing.
Hmm.
All right. So take us back, Becca. Take us back to the moment when, because I don't think you just automatically started doing this. This was a choice that you made to start taking this different way of looking at life and doing things differently, right? So take us back to a moment maybe when you first realized that you weren't going to just continue to live in that normal way, but you were going to choose this different way of looking at risk, looking at your life, and step into that fully. What was going on in your life then, and what was the shift that made you say, I'm going to take this path and start teaching risk mentoring?
Yeah, there's like definitely multiple moments that I can think of, but the main one and the main story that I tell around this is like I was in college and I was studying music, actually, very different than like what
Okay.
people don't know that about me necessarily from the
Love
start.
that.
So I was studying music industry studies. I play the euphonium, which is like a
Hmm.
small tuba.
Okay. Okay. I'm like, I know I've heard that word before. Okay. So like a small tuba. Okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, so it's way bigger than a trumpet, but smaller than a tuba. Similar to like a trombone. I played trombone too.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And I was like really hardcore in music. Very, very like everything I did was music. And then all of a sudden I like burnt out really bad. And like even like sitting in a practice room, which I would do for like probably 4 to 7 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
A
Yeah.
lot. I was like really, really into it.
Yeah.
And that was like where I found joy. That was how I processed emotions. That was what I needed to do for homework. So yeah, it was like all my eggs were in one basket. And a mentor asked me, my favorite teacher, Dr. Snodgrass, she was my music theory teacher. And she asked, like, when I was having a breakdown in her office, like, what would you do if you didn't have to just like do music 24/7? Like, where would you expand your life? And I was like, I want to go try rock climbing because I can see it from the practice room every time I go,
Wow.
but I've
Okay.
never been able to do it. Because I'm spending all of my time on music. Um, yeah, so I went and I tried rock climbing and I changed my major from music and I started, well, then I went to exercise science and then pretty
Okay.
quickly switched to psychology and focused on like learning and sustainability and combining like my love for the outdoors, which I had before I
Mhm.
started rock climbing. But yeah, so combining the love for the outdoors with like earth dwelling, which is like similar to wilderness survival, but it's like how do we exist on this planet in like with this
Oh,
planet?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or sustainable kind of way, kind of thing. Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And then all that just like I then got into rock or from rock climbing, found whitewater kayaking, and that was like huge passion of mine. Taught whitewater kayaking for a while, and recently have shifted from just teaching whitewater kayakers about risk. I was previously like I had a very small niche of like I work with whitewater kayakers, women who live in my area, like
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, okay, we actually rarely talk about kayaking in my sessions. This is not just about kayaking. And
Bigger aspect. Yeah.
yeah, so now I work with anyone who wants to expand their capacity for risk. That includes like doctors and lawyers and like book
Okay.
writers and coaches, business owners, like, yeah, people
Awesome.
like in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, whitewater kayaking, that is, I would say, a definition of risky things. I love that. So you just like you completely turned. So just small question, do you still play music at all? Like, does it have any aspect in your life or you just kind of let that one go?
Yeah, I have a guitar right over there and a
Love
ukulele.
it.
I have a recorder, which is so funny. The like little flute
Like
thing
the
that you
little
learn in
like, yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
kindergarten.
Like the first, yeah, exactly.
I was really into recorder.
That's
And
awesome.
I've lost a lot of those skills, but I have one sitting next to me in my car that I'll like pull out and play while I'm sitting in traffic. And I'm
Riff
like,
on,
this
yeah.
is so funny to get weird
I love
looks.
it.
And I love
That's
singing
awesome.
and dancing, and dance has a huge part of my background as well. Like 15,
Awesome.
16 years of professional dancing, like
Oh wow. Okay, yeah.
maybe not
Okay, yeah.
professional, but like hardcore dancing.
Serious, yeah,
Yeah.
competition and stuff, all that. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have many multifacets, and I love that you are still incorporating all the different pieces. You're just expanding and doing broader things. That's what I keep hearing from you. That's awesome. Okay, so all right, so we all know that making a shift to creating a life that is iconic, right? Which for me, I talk about being iconic. Um, it's like creating a life where you remember who you were created to be, right? Because I think there's a
Mm.
lot of it, like we tend to know it. I think when we're small children, we walk very boldly in our callings, right? Think of a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old who is like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that, or like whatever, right? And then life, society starts teaching us different things, and we start shutting down a lot of those things, right? So I think when we're adults, we're choosing to do something different, not just live on autopilot, but to create an iconic life, right? I think that involves a lot of remembering our
Mm.
identity. Who are we created to be? And saying yes to that, and then building a life that matches that, that overflows with that abundance and that joy, that purpose, right? So, however, I know that in switching over to creating an iconic life, that's not always a smooth switch, right? It's a smooth transition. So maybe could you tell us maybe a time when, as you were switching things over, did it all go smoothly, or were there some obstacles that you kind of tested life gave you options to like, are you really serious about that? Um, and maybe how did you decide to move through those challenges instead of letting them define you or hold you back, maybe? And like looking back at some of those circumstances, maybe what strengths or lessons did you learn from those seasons, from those challenges?
Yeah. Wow, good question. Thinking of that same story, like continuing on that story. So I switched from music to uh like adventure sports, I guess, and psychology. I not lost friends, but like I changed everything about myself.
Mm-hmm,
I
hmm
I was like, I don't know who I am anymore. Like at all. I didn't have any way to like regulate my emotions
hmm
or express myself. Like at least that was like definitely the thought that was going through my head during that time of like, I don't know anything anymore at all. Um, and I think that felt freeing in some ways. Like I've always been pretty like extroverted in a lot of ways. And so like I made new friends pretty quickly, and it didn't like hold me back from trying rock climbing or trying whitewater kayaking or like getting a new job in the outdoor rec department and learning how to teach kayaking. So it didn't hold me back that much in turn like tangibly, but like
hmm
mentally I was like in a huge identity crisis
Yeah.
of like I don't know anything. And that's scary to be in the like I don't know
Yeah. Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. The
Um
unknown. Hmm
yeah. In terms of like actual obstacles, Hmm. I don't know if like I feel like that just concept of like I didn't know how to translate any of my tools into a new context. And that was something that I really like brought with me as I continued on into this new like identity of myself of like I don't want to put all of my eggs in one basket. I want to like become a multi-dimensional human.
Yeah.
Um and I like I guess one of the big obstacles too is like music was really triggering for me after that. Like,
Mm.
I remember going to live shows, which I used to do like multiple times a week. I worked for a record label at a time, like helping them record concerts and stuff. And I remember going to
Gosh.
concerts and like literally crying at
Uh,
the sound of live music because I used to be the one on stage and like yeah, it was just like a really powerful emotional experience. And
having
that
to,
probably took like 2 years to recover from.
okay. Yeah. Sounds like you had a bit of a kind of a, in a way, a grieving process that you had to go like
Hmm.
just that you're shifting into a new identity, letting go
Hmm.
of older things and moving into that. That's a, yeah. So does that when you kind of got into somatics then, or like when did you start bringing that in to kind of like you mentioned like bringing your body on board and you mentioned like you didn't know how to regulate yourself when you were switching over. Like how did you start to learn those kind of things?
Mm. I would say that actually goes all the way back to when I was 3.
Okay.
I have always had stomach issues. Hot girls with stomach problems, raise your hands. That's me. I was undiagnosed. I mean, I diagnosed as functional abdominal pain,
Hmm.
which is a BS.
It's
I
a
mean,
right. It's a
yeah.
throw it out there. Yeah, exactly. We don't know
It's
what's going on. You have stomach pain. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
you're a kid, you have stomach pain, you'll grow out of it.
Hmm.
Here's some meds that help calm your cramps. And I'd been through many doctors, like I started therapy when I was very young. I had a lot of trauma that came along with that. My first time getting sick was when my brother was born, so there like separation anxiety came with that, and like I
Hmm.
tied it to my brother, and we had relationship issues, and so during all of that trouble or like those issues, that's when I started seeing therapists. And I really remember like I remember doing body exercises because I had stomach pain every single night and insomnia every single night of my childhood. And
Wow.
this like was resolved this year. So
Wow.
it's like not like a short term. It wasn't functional abdominal pain that I grew out of. I'm like, okay, docs, I am 27 years old. I have not grown out of it. I don't think I will. Please keep testing for other things. And yeah, eventually I did learn to just deal with it and like
Hmm.
process my like pain in my body basically very regularly and just like live with a baseline of pain,
Hmm.
which requires processing. But I always had that
Yeah.
like lens of like my body is doing something and like my brain doesn't have to listen to it, but sometimes it can. And that like conversation between body and brain, um, along with exercises that therapists had given me. But therapy like never really worked for me. Like it worked, but not like it worked, but very slowly, gradually, in ways that I didn't feel like I could give myself credit for,
Hmm.
um, or like feel a tangible like win from. And
Yeah.
then like 2 years ago, I started working with a coach who does somatic stuff. And like the goal driven, like we have outcomes that we are going towards and the accountability of having like wins that we celebrate very tangibly, like is so helpful for me in coaching.
Hmm.
Um, and I am the type of gal that like uh intellectualizes everything. Like I'm like, okay, here's what I'm feeling, here's why I'm feeling it, here's like how it's happening, here's how it shows up. Like I can talk about
Yeah.
it all day.
Yeah. You know how to define it and write it down
Yeah.
and narrate it. Yeah,
And
exactly.
I know what the treatment would be for it in DBT and CBT and all these different things. I'm like, I know it all. I've been through so many years of therapy. I'm good. But this coach, her name's Goodwin Hope. She wouldn't let me intellectualize it. And
Mm.
she just like she doesn't really care about the story, like lovingly. Sometimes we do talk about the story, but most of the time it's like, no, I don't really care about the story. It doesn't really matter. It's showing up in your body, and let's try processing it through dance and through movement and through she has this thing, body movement or breath, movement, sound, and touch are her like modalities that we move through in the body. Um, and so I've been working with her for like the past 2 years, and that in the end like led to I advocated to doctors so much more. So there was like a tangible like there is quote something wrong with me. There was a diagnosis
A
that
diagnosis.
came
Okay.
and a medicine that helped. So not like all anti-meds and stuff.
Yeah.
But then there's also like yeah, just like the comfort, the capacity, the comfort with discomfort, the
Mm.
capacity to advocate for myself, to hold more discomfort, to yeah,
Move
it's
it
all
through.
been processed through my body and not through
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Being able to move it through and not have it block up and be and not get become dis-ease actually is I guess how I want to say it. But yeah. Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Becca. So yeah, you've powerful story, girly. Okay.
Thanks.
I let's come into the present now. So
Yeah.
what does what does living an iconic life look like to you in the day to day? Like what kind of rituals do you do? What kind of choices or values do you keep anchored in your life to keep yourself moving towards um like a bigger a life that is your iconic life?
Mm. When you say iconic, first I think of like I'm like an icon. Would I would think of like Hannah Montana. Like I bring this back to my childhood. My dream was to be Hannah Montana, who designed her own clothes and was her own
Love it.
event planner and
Love
like
it.
choreographed all of her stuff and wrote her own songs. And so I think of that vision of myself from when I was a kid, like you were mentioning the kid with like the dreams that are so out there and
Yeah.
unapologetic. And so I think of like living in alignment with my desires. So like when I want something, like I don't just like talk myself out of going to get it. And yeah, so what does it look like on a day to day? Bringing it back, honing it in. Um, I have some flowers that I bought myself this week,
Yeah.
and
Saw that on your
I
Instagram reel. Yep. Love it.
I do silly things like without like I you mentioned before, like I this week danced in a grocery store and I was like, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But also like it's so joyful and silly. And I was laughing the whole time. I was mortified, but I was also laughing the whole time. And I even invited someone to join in, and he was
Yeah,
like,
I
you
saw
could hear
that.
it in the video. He's like, you're having too much fun. And I'm like, I'm not, you're not having enough fun.
Come and join me. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's under this challenge that you have, right? It's called the Dare Challenge. Am I right? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
tell
the
me a little bit more
dare
about
is
that.
it's like an ongoing challenge. So it's not like a do this for a week, do this for 30 days. It's like this is a lifestyle change that you can join me in. And it's a Facebook group. It's called the Dare, which is a
The
funny
Dare.
acronym. It's a risk exploration, but it's duh risk exploration.
Okay,
Like
gotcha.
DA period R period E period. It's silly.
I love it. I love it.
I make the
Okay, I
rules.
see it. Yep, I got okay. So that's a free Facebook group, right? That you
Yeah.
have, right? And you do, well, what is it exactly? What is the challenge?
Yeah, yeah. So I encourage people to do risk explorations. And basically you create your own risk exploration. I am living and leading by example, but I am learning about my own risk as we go as well. So your people are welcome to do the same risks or like dares
Pick
that
their
I
own or
do
whatever.
to
Yeah.
myself. But basically it's like whenever something comes up in your life and you're like, I want to do that, but I like feel scared to, or like you feel that sensation of risk of like the heart beating, like I said earlier, the like the queasiness or the flushed
Mhm.
face. And this being in this group means that you are dedicated to risk exploration. So as long as it's not like we talk about multiple different types of risk, and in there's like an hour long like tutorial kind of thing. It's like a really silly workshop that I hosted. And it tells you how to participate in the dare. It tells you like what are ways that we can process these emotions or these like risk sensations in our body. Um, and basically it's like you notice the wrist sensation and then you're like, that's a green light. I should go do it. And yeah. And then people share about what it felt like in their body. And so it's like a really vulnerable space on Facebook where like I have noticed my Facebook feed is like full of AI and full of ads and full of people
Mm.
like faking it to like make themselves look better. And so like and like maybe they do look good, but like it's a like very polished version. And so this group is like the opposite of that. It's like very raw. People are introducing themselves who've never like videoed themselves talking to a camera. Like they're sharing videos of themselves talking to the camera, like, hi, I am just got out of the shower. I don't know what to say here. So it's like very
Authentic and
real.
real. Yeah, very real
Yeah.
life. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, Becca, you have chosen to create a different life, to lead to a life differently than autopilot, which I love. What are maybe some things that you are most proud of creating in your work or in your relationships, whatever? What are some things that you're most proud of? And maybe how do you see yourself evolving in this next season of growth and your business, et cetera? Like what's going on for you now? What's new and alive?
Mm. Wow, so many things to celebrate. I say celebration is my religion. There's so much of a story behind that, but celebration is my religion, so that's I do a lot of celebrating. So right now what I'm celebrating, I have over 100 people in the Dare, which I just opened it like last week. So yeah, that's freaking epic. I'm
Fantastic.
so excited. And people are like popping off in there. So the Dare is like so alive, it's so fun, so silly. And I have been tapping into a lot more silly, goofy, like super raw versions. Like I mentioned already in here, I think like I lead from a sense of like going first rather than like I know what to do. Like I know everything. You should listen to me because this and this. It's like I don't know what to do, but I'm
Right.
doing
But I'm
it.
doing it. That's right.
And
Come
you can
join
come
me. Right.
along.
I love it.
So I'm leading this thing called Weird as Fuck. It starts in November and it's like a 7 week like group program. And it's really more like a stage for us to all be witnessed in our weirdness and witness each other in our weirdness and just like get weirder and weirder as we go. So each week it won't really have like lessons per se. It'll have like themes and like maybe one theme for example would be like noises and it'd be like, all right, you're on the stage, make the weirdest noise that you can make and like let's all hear it. And that feels like so risky to do. So we process the risk in our body as we're being weirder and weirder. And then that'll just like, my hope for that is that it'll lead us to filtering less and just being like more real and authentically ourselves with each other, building community. And there's already 10 people inside, and we're in the
Awesome.
pre-sale. I haven't even made a sales page yet, so I'm
That's so
stoked.
awesome, Becca.
Yeah.
So I hear that you're kind of like breaking down the barriers that keep us all like it's that we mentioned already, like the whole social media, it's all perfected and like AI'd
Mm-hmm.
and whatever, and like, oh, I've got everything all together and so perfect. And I mean, I think you would agree with this. Like, that's not my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do things messy, I do things scared. I just do things because I'm gonna do the hard, but also
Mm-hmm.
it's life, right? Like, and I can't wait to be polished and perfect,
I
right?
don't think we ever will be.
Right,
I
exactly.
don't want to be polished. That's so
Right.
unrelatable. Like, it's
And it's
okay to
so
be
hard to
unrelatable, but
maintain, right? I mean, like the
yeah,
pressure of having to be perfect all the time. My gosh, I don't want that.
I
This
don't
is
want
real
it at
life,
all.
right? And I'm
Yeah.
learning every day and I'm walking every day in the learning that I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I love that. Um, Okay, so for the people who are listening who are maybe feeling that tug and they know they haven't yet stepped fully into creating their iconic life, whatever that is for
Mm,
them, right? Because I think it's very specific to each person.
hmm
What is maybe one a message that you would have for them? From something I can't talk, something for them to hold on to, or what is maybe one small brave step that you would challenge them to take today?
mm. I love this question. My favorite quote right now, which is I'm quoting myself. Um, no shame.
I love it.
The only thing we know is that we don't know.
Ah, the
And
only
so the only thing
thing we know.
anyone knows, or the only thing I know about you is that you don't know. And the only thing I know about me is that I don't know. And like even our mentor that we met through Shoshana Raven, like the only thing I know about her is that she also doesn't know. And so like that just like feels so freeing to like to have as a motto. It's like
Yeah,
you have to be comfortable with the unknown because we don't no one knows anything.
this
Um
is our first time through this life, so yeah, we're all figuring it out as we go. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. I love
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I feel like the first step with that is, I mean, that's that in itself of just like the only thing we know is that we don't. Um, and that is like your permission slip to be like, well, I'm gonna do something before I know how. You don't have to know
Mm,
how.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
And that it's a practice. You have to
Yeah,
practice doing things that you don't know in order to feel like remotely comfortable doing things you don't know. And
true
it will
story.
get more comfortable doing
True
things
story.
that you don't know.
Yeah.
It'll still have levels of discomfort, but yeah,
Right. The discomfort is there, but it gets more as you practice it, like you said, it gets more, I want to say it's easier to sit in the discomfort when you've
yeah,
done it before and you realize, oh, I didn't die from that. Okay. Because
100%.
isn't it like, I think for me, like I think back to when I was a teenager or something like that, and like the worst thing in the whole wide world was to be called out in front of like other people, right? Because
Mhm.
what? Because what? I was going to disintegrate into a million pieces. I don't know, right? So
That's what it feels
following
like.
that out, but it did, right? I mean, that's literally how it felt. So it's like for me, it's like, oh, it's not going to kill me to sit into this discomfort or to like step into that stretchy space and like, oh, I survived that.
Mhm.
Okay, so then maybe I can do the next thing, right? Yeah, no, I love that. The only
Mhm.
thing you know is that we don't know. The only thing we know about each other is that we all don't know. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, yeah, it applies. It changed. The pronouns change. Like in my
Right.
work, I led a women's circle this morning, and one of the rules in our women's circle is that I don't really care what like pronouns or nouns you use. Like if you say I or you or they or she or he, like it doesn't necessarily matter what the pronouns are because everything you're experiencing is a reflection of what's going on inside you. And so if someone else is using different pronouns, then and then you get triggered by it, it's still a reflection of you. It doesn't matter what pronouns they used. Like,
Yeah, it's about
anyway, that
us.
was a
We're
little
directed to
side
here.
rant.
No, it's a true story. It's a
Yeah.
mirror to yourself and what you're reflecting back to. Yeah, no, that's something that's actually pretty powerful to know. When you get
Yeah.
triggered, look within. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So as we're starting to wrap up here, and this has been such a fun conversation, Becca. So thank you for joining me. But I got a
Mhm.
few fun questions for you. Okay. So
Cool.
favorite drink or food that you're enjoying right now
Mm.
or recently, besides the ice
Ooh.
cream, because you said you're in your ludo phase. You're in ice cream right now.
I did have a half a
Right.
pint of ice cream last night. Um,
Yum.
I'm gonna go with rainbow sprinkles. I love rainbow sprinkles.
Okay. Do you put them, what do you put them on? Like just eating
Ice
them or like
cream,
ice cream? Yeah.
in
Yeah.
pancakes and waffles, in on my oatmeal.
Okay. I've never tried the oatmeal. My son loves
Literally
rainbow
just
sprinkles.
sugar, but
True story. Fun sugar because it's colorful. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but it just like brings such lightness and
A
like
little
playful
sparkle, a little
energy.
fun. Yeah, playful energy.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
Okay. Are you a coffee drinker or a tea drinker?
Tea,
Or tea? All right. Like herbal teas or like black tea?
herbal. Yeah.
Herbal. Yeah.
I'm not a caffeine girly. I like
Yeah.
I want to like coffee sometimes. Like I want to have like a pumpkin spice latte, but I
Right.
had one yesterday and I was
You're
like,
like,
I am
oh,
off the rails right now. I'm so anxious. Like I can't do
oh,
caffeine.
yeah,
It
the
was a
caffeine part of it.
decaf.
Oh
It was
gosh.
decaf and I still felt off the rails.
Yeah, because there's still a little bit of caffeine even in the decaf. No, this is true.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm an herbal girly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, no caffeine needed, right?
Nope.
Okay. All right, let's see. Let's see. Dream vacation spot on your bucket list, or maybe that you already have planned. Do you have anything fun trips coming up or something like that? Yeah.
Mm. Well, I just got back. I've been traveling like crazy. I went to Montana and then I went to Colorado. That's where we met. And then I
Okay.
went to West Virginia like 2 weeks later too. And so I think I'm gonna go with West Virginia. It was so fun. I went skinny dipping every day and I camped every like most nights and
Were you
yeah, it was
camping out, like
beautiful.
outside? Yeah.
I was in my car. I have a built
Okay.
out minivan.
Nice. My mom has one of
Yeah.
those. She's one of those Voyagers and she's like, yeah, I can go anywhere. I have my car. We're good to
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
There's
love
like
it.
string lights in it. There's a bed. It's cozy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. And then finally, what is maybe a book that you're reading currently or have read in the last month or two that's really good, or a podcast that you're enjoying, something that you would want to share with the audience?
Mm. Well, I recently found a podcast, and this is super silly. If you haven't picked up on me, I'm pretty silly. So this is the funny answer, and then I have like a growth answer. But like the funny episode is called Spilt Milk.
Spilt
And
milk.
yeah, or
Okay.
maybe it's spilled milk, but something along those lines. And
Yeah.
it's a dad and his son, and they are he's like 3 years old.
Oh my
And
gosh.
he's like, it's just, he's yelling. So, like, be prepared for like quiet and then loud and then quiet and then loud. But it's like
The toddler.
so
Yeah.
funny to listen to. And they're talking about like literally, like, he had a slinky on his microphone on the last episode I was listening to. And it's just so silly. It's very playful, no purpose,
I'm gonna have to check it
short.
out. Yeah. I mean, it's a 3-year-old, right? The life of a
Yeah,
toddler. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, exactly. I love it.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna check that one out.
They're like 6-minute episodes, really chill.
That sounds
Um,
right.
and then I am reading inspired by LBL, Living Brave Life. I'm reading Pussy, Reclamation by Mama Gina.
Mama Gina. Okay.
Yeah, and it's it's been like, even though she's not like, I feel like she's not a mentor that I'm like, oh my God, like I'm obsessed with you, like I love your vibe, and like she's cool and all, but to be honest, like not my vibe. That's okay. I do
It's
like
okay.
I do really like the lessons that she's teaching, and it's helpful to learn sometimes and to like be triggered sometimes by those kinds of people that you're like, this isn't what I would do. This isn't how I would say it. This isn't the energy I would bring, but that's okay. She's not
That's
me.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We all don't know. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good practice in that too. I'm like realizing, okay,
Awesome.
even the experts like are still learning and they don't know either. And even
Right.
they're not wrong in their way of doing
Right.
it too. Yeah.
And the only reason you become an expert is by doing something, right? Standing for something, becoming a thought leader for something and diving into that thing. But it doesn't mean that
Mhm.
you are the thing, the right thing. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. All right, girly. Well, that brings us to the end of our chat today. Again, Becca, thank you so much for coming on. This is a lot of fun. And I hope that our conversation today speaks to somebody and helps them to maybe take that dare to do some little risk exploration, right? And oh, where can people find you, Becca? Where can people find you? They're looking to
Yeah.
join up with you or join your dare challenge or anything like that. How can they find you?
Yeah, yeah. You can find me on Instagram at Wild Woman Becca, or on Facebook. You can send me a friend request, or follow me if you want, but send me a friend request. Becca, and my last name is Ploener, Ploener. And yeah, you can join my Dare Facebook group. Just like message me. I'm not I'm not crazy. I don't know. Like I don't bite. Message
Yeah.
me. Talk to me.
You're a real person. It's
I'm
okay.
a real person. I respond to pretty much every message. If I didn't respond, I probably got distracted by my ADD brain. So send me another one, please.
Awesome.
um, yeah. And yeah, so you can join the free the free dare experience, or you can join Weird as Fuck if you want, if you're listening before November. And just send me a message on there, or I'll send Hannah the link and she can, once they get the sales page up, I guess. So
Yeah,
maybe just
we'll
find me
include it in
on
the show
Facebook.
notes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on Facebook for the Dare Challenge, is it DARE
Yeah.
challenge? Is that what we're searching for? Okay.
It's actually called the Risky Bitches in a Dare.
The Risky Bitches in a Dare. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. All right, folks, you heard it here first. All right.
Yeah, we're the
All
risky
right.
bitches.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today at the Iconic Life podcast. If today's conversation stirred something in you, maybe even triggered something in you, um, send us a message. Let us know. Give us some feedback. We'd like to hear back from what we're talking about on these messages or on these episodes. But maybe share this episode with a friend who could use it. Leave us a review. And come connect with us online. Find Becca on Facebook or Instagram. Connect with us on Instagram and Facebook as well. Remember, you guys, an iconic life isn't built in the someday. It's chosen today by every little decision, every little step, right? So until next time, keep living boldly, joyfully, and iconically. Thanks.